Welcome to What Noah Thinks. Let's get into it. Anger gets shit done. Let's talk about it. Anger. A lot of people look at angry people, or look at angry period, or anger period, and look at it as something that is, I don't want to feel that. Or if you're feeling it, you want to shut it off. You want to not feel it. All emotions are valid. All emotions are valid. All emotions need to be felt and understood in all of their facets, because emotions are what? Energy in motion, which means what? They had something that influenced them. You don't feel anything just by coincidence. All of your emotions have a story. And if you don't understand the story, you don't understand what you're doing. You don't even understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't understand the story of your emotions and how you can what? Influence them, then you're operating under what? A story that you have no control over. You're just a what? You're just an NPC in your own story. A non-playable character in your own game. Once you start to understand, no, this is why this happened. No, this is why I feel the way I do. That's when you can start to use the energy. This is where you get people who's done been bullied. This is where you done get people who's done been beat upside the head. People done got raped, molested, abused, neglected, abandoned. This is where you get people who go through that, and then they all of a sudden have success stories. Because all it is what? Transmuting energy. This is why people say you got to have an outlet. But most people are afraid to express themselves. Because of what? Coming from a child, as a child, a lot of people think that child into growing up and maturing is just some happy-go-lucky thing. Yeah, there are rites of passage. Yeah, there is becoming a man, becoming a woman, boom, 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 boom. But when you're talking about the mind, you're going into an aspect of what? Freedom, operating of your imagination and your rationale. Your brain is just working together. There's no pause. There's no hesitation. There's no doubt. There's no worrying about if anybody looking at you a certain way. Nobody worrying about what you said. It goes from that to what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Don't you hear I'm talking on the phone? Yeah, I'm sorry. Now, when we in public, don't you goddamn touch anything in the store. All these things start to teach you about what? See, this is innocent because it's what? The outside world. I'm just getting ready for the world. That's what my mom and daddy got me ready for. So I could be a proper adult. So I could take on responsibilities. What else is this teaching you to do? To constantly adjust. To turn yourself on and off. This is why, remember. In Baby Geniuses, the daddy was looked at as what? A lunatic. Crazy. By everybody, but the wife loved him. She loved him, but she tolerated him. But he was looked at as a crazy person because he was the one that was saying, babies are geniuses. They have a language that we don't even know. They have the keys to life. He kept on saying this. And most people don't understand, like, this is what the world was talking about for a long time. It had in every mythology. This is why we look at kids and, like, just wondrous. They look like they're in a world of their own, operating in, as, and of themselves. And some point in time, we were all that guy or gal. And then, this is not against our parents. This is the human condition, period. This is why in Gnosticism, they say there's death, pain, and suffering. A human body is the trapping of the soul. Like, the soul is unlimited. The soul is what? The unseen connected to the unseen. That's the source of everything. Everything starts from the mind. Everything starts from the source, the unseen. You go from that being all going down into the slowest vibration is a human fucking body in the 3D material realm, in material reality. Limited. Now you gotta piss. Now you gotta shit, sleep. Now you gotta cook food. Now you gotta go and get food. Even the process of farming, you gotta wait for the food to grow. Like all of this, like your natural state of being is like, I want it and I want it now. That's your natural state of being. Even though patience is a concept and a principle. When you're talking about the one into the many, like the pleroma into all the different divine sparks in the human body, right? In the human body, spiritual beings having a human experience. At the original source, it's only one. That's why there's nothing new under the sun. That's why there's nothing new under the sun. This is why everything can be in correspondence to something else. But going from that and being trapped into the human body, you go under the spell or the contract of what? Ignorance. Ignorance and going into the physical reality, which represents what? Illusions. That's why you look at somebody, you can look at somebody today. This is why they even catch people off guard in those even crime or missing people documentaries, or just like, oh man, I can't understand when people be committing suicide even. Be looking damn sure happy as hell. And everybody like, I just saw so she was so happy and just so, you don't know what's going on the inside. That's an illusion. That's just dealing with people. Then you get to the point to where what? I knew I saw that over there. I thought I saw. No, that's just what you wanted to see. That's what was going in your mind that influenced your vision. That didn't happen. Or you thinking somebody yelling at you when they're really just speaking direct, maybe. Why are you what? Nobody's yelling at you. Or like it's not what you said, it's the way you said it. No, somebody may be just talking the way they are, and you may be taking it a certain way based on your perception of the knowledge that's coming. Like all of this, I'm only just giving examples of conversation, senses, and anything. This is what we all go through in a daily life. Don't act like you ain't experienced this shit before. This everything in the physical represents an illusion or a potential illusion. Somebody can be saying something to you directly to your face, and they can be lying, pulling shit out their ass, talking out the side of their neck, and you don't even know, unless you can pick up on it. But either way, even if you don't pick up on it, this is how you get cults. This is how you get mind control. Somebody's lying to you, and you believe it's the truth. Illusions. All of that is what makes up this entire world. Being able to sift through illusions and understand not the truth, your truth, how it pertains to you. But getting back to the energy in terms of emotions, understanding the story of them, that's how you understand the mythologies and all the clips and the movies in your life. And this is where you get into what? I don't remember his name, but Dr. Lee. If anybody y'all know, I don't even remember the actor name nor even in the show, because I didn't even watch the season. I only watched that episode, and I only saw that clip on YouTube of Dr. Lee. Pretty much, it was American Gods, and they were on. It was pretty much resembling the transatlantic slave trade and the voyage on the way to America. Enslaved Africans, not slaves. Enslaved people. And he was speaking, about anger. And then there was this one dude. There was one dude out of everybody in the whole ship. He was like just clenching, just breath, just like in and out, just like wanting to just like, you could see on his face, it's like he can tear some shit up, right? This is like what he's feeling right now is pure righteous fury, like anger that's deserved of his situation and circumstance. And then he was talking to everybody. Dr. Lee, I'm only using Dr. Lee because he was in Drumline. I forget his name. I'm gonna link the clip down here. He was talking to everybody. And then he locked in on old boy, and then he was like, oh, this one gets it. he understands what I'm saying. He was like, anger gets shit done. That right there tells you that it's okay to be angry. It's very okay to feel furious. It's okay to feel frustrated. A part of the human experience is being in this body, feeling the flow of emotions. Learning how to manage it mentally is the key to the game. Real quick, if you often ask yourself, what is my purpose here? What am I doing here on planet Earth? Or if you often find yourself saying, man, something told me. I knew I should have. Or if you're looking for tips and tools to connect with your intuition and you don't know where to start, linked in my description box is my book, Intuitive Mastery, How to Master Your Inner Knowing and Fulfill Your Purpose, because your intuition is always right. Let's get back to the episode. So, when he said that, he was like, anger gets shit done. Why did he say that? Because that's how revolutions happen. And specifically in the mind, that's how paradigm shifts happen. This is where people get in certain situations. You know what? I've had it. Enough is enough. When people be talking about like that, enough of it is enough. I'm not going through this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Like when people go through those situations, circumstances, they're angry. But they're putting it in a direction like, I've had it. It's enough. This is where the buck stops. The jig is up. This is where I'm going in a different direction. Knowing how to manage energy and manage your emotions is what is the key to the game. It's not justifying your emotions and not doing anything with them. This is why you say it's okay to accept your individuality and your personality. But there's another thing about like, oh, I'm just angry because I'm angry. Or taking certain characteristics. You ever heard, I'm a Libra, so this is how we act. I'm a Gemini, so this is how I act. Instead of what? Directing your energy and directing your emotions in what? Not just in your needs, wants, and desires, in the direction of growth, evolving. You don't want to be saying the same thing and thinking the same thing your whole goddamn life. You want to be able to think different, experience different. This is one of the benefits of traveling. This is one of the benefits of experiencing jumping into swimming, being able to swim, or flying, or even not even going into all of that, just going from somewhere or experiencing a new environment, period. Mental environment, physical environment, emotional environment, right? Food environment, even going to different restaurants. Oh, I've never had this. You know, expanding your palate. That's what they say. Excuse me. The key thing about it is anger gets shit done, though. Let's talk about anger. Most of the times, and there's a lot of the times when we talk about your intuition, we talk about your spirit. Your spirit is what animates this physical body. It's connected to your higher self. It's connected to your subconscious mind. You signed up and you're going through this process, this human experience, to what? Spiritualize matter, not materialize spirit. You are here to raise up this body, raise above in this body, raise above your animalistic self, the human self, what's supposed to be common as a human or in the physical body. So in doing so, your spirit is going to find that in ignorance, your spirit knows everything. Your spirit is connected to your higher self, the soul's journey. What you signed up to go through the process of childhood ignorance to come into the awareness of yourself. This is why people talk about higher states of awareness, heightened sense of awareness and intuition and all that. That's just awareness. It's not you're not becoming anything. You're realizing who you are, and most importantly, you're remembering who you are. This is what the Osiris story was about. Osirian drama. Set was the one that cut his brother up, the lord of the subconscious world or the underworld. Osir, he's the one that cut him up into what? 14 pieces. And then his wife, Isis or Aset, was the one who what? Gathered up all the pieces and what? Used magic on the phallic, on his phallus, on his dick, to what? Bring birth to who? Haru. Who's what? The avenger of his daddy. Haru is hero. The avenger of your subconscious mind. That's what I talk about. Your subconscious mind, your imagination, unlimited possibilities. As a child, it was taken over. In obedience, in all these adjustments and everything, you went through the process of ignorance, which caused you to what? Go through trauma, which caused you to what? Go through the process of not knowing how your needs were to be met. Because your parents can't fulfill all of them. They got needs of their own. As good intention as your mom and your daddy was, they couldn't do everything for you. They're there to best prepare you to what? Go into the physical world and survive on your own. That's what animals do too. So you don't expect them to teach you everything. But the process of going through that is the reason why most of us have to go through the process. Like, yeah, I truly don't give a shit about what anybody says. Yeah, I feel free when I don't care about anybody. Whether they say I'm doing good or doing bad. I understand it for myself. That process is what you understood as a child. But you go through the process of what? Not knowing how to deal with your emotions. Because not having your needs met creates voids within yourself. That are what? This is where now your emotions are like what? Your emotions can go somewhere, but since they're not going to their proper place, now they're going which way and everywhere. So that right there is literally saying that your anger has its proper place. Because it's just energy. It's just the vibration of it. So when you're talking about going through this whole process, your spirit going through that process of ignorance, being all-knowing and understanding your reason for being down here, is going to put you in certain situations to be like, all right, we don't need to be here no more. Because it's going to is leading you to the situations that you're most aligned with, your purpose. When you're in a situation like, all right, it's time to get out. This is when relationships start fucking up. This is when your finances start suffering. This is when everybody start looking at you like you're crazy, you're delusional. This is when most of that shit start happening. And this is when you start getting angry about your situation. Like, I got to do something. I don't know what, but something got to be done. That right there is what puts you in those situations to be like, this is where most of the success stories come from. There's people who's done been bullied, slapped upside the head, beat up on the way home every single day. There's people in this world that was getting molested and abused by their goddamn uncle, by their daddy, by their mama. Even on the feminine side, like what they saw in Antoine Fisher, who Derek Luke played the little, well, he didn't play that role, but the younger version of him was in that movie. That was a part of his trauma. He didn't know what to do with none of that. He's just getting molested and abused and forced to do shit that ain't got shit to do with him. He don't know. And that's what manifests in what? People having outbursts. People killing people. People being homeless. People drinking. People doing the same thing that was done to them to other people. Unmanaged. Unaware. Ignorant of. This is why the most important thing you can do is be aware of your emotions. I've said this before. This is the literal message and main understanding of the Joker. The Joker is trying to get Batman to understand, like, oh, you're just a hurt child, my guy. Joe Chill did a number on your head when he killed your mama and daddy. But that's okay. That's okay. Because the same thing happened to me. And this is why the Joker has so many origin stories, because he's literally the agent of chaos. He's saying no matter what, all of them come down. You got the origin story where he was a failed comedian. Nobody laughed at his jokes. Got wrapped up in something, got caught up in a chemical spill, right? Then come to find out his goddamn wife and kids is fucked up. Done been killed. All of that. Then you got the other thing where what? When he broke into what? I may have spoken about this before. When he got into what? in the Dark Knight when he pretty much stormed Harvey Dent's celebration and came in there with the shotgun and was what? Having what? And taking Rachel and doing all this. You know what? One of the most profound scenes in television. I mean, in the movie. He's telling her another origin story. These scars. You want to know why I got these scars? Let me tell you. And tells one of the most traumatic stories. My daddy sliced these onto me. He said, "Why so serious, son?" When he was doing the shit to his mama. But he's clearly explaining, like, this is why emotional intelligence is important. It only takes one day for all that shit to pop off. People be thinking that they so above people that be going through shit, or so above people that's done, if you want to put a term on it, spiraled out of control, when really they're just unaware. You get to boil down all them people in there, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna figure out nobody gave them a hug. So this is why anger gets shit done, is because it's valid like every one of your emotions. You ever had a good day? You think that's the only good emotions that you're supposed to feel? Of course you're supposed to feel fulfilled. But you don't know what being fulfilled feels like if you don't know what a void feels like. My needs aren't being met. And then the process of what? Meeting your needs. Trying to find it outside or trying to find it inside. Being truly fulfilled within yourself or depending on something else to temporarily fulfill you. This is where you get addictions. This is where you get people pleasing. This is where you get people who can't let go of that behavior as a child, that I was the most obedient, blah, 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 blah. And that constant adjusting, like, I just don't want to be on nobody's bad side. This is where you get people who do that shit right the fuck into their adult life and be doormats. And some leading into domestic violence, abuse. Can't say no. Scared to run away. Scared to value yourself. Scared to be. I don't want him thinking like I didn't need him. I don't want him running after me. It's best to stay with him or her. Men get it too. Men get domestic violence just like women. This whole entire thing has everything to do with some people don't know what the fuck to do with their emotions. This is how shit plays out. But the most important thing is, all your emotions are, you're feeling some type of way for a very good reason. But if you don't know why you're feeling the way you are, it can't be used. This is why he said anger gets shit done. But specifically anger, because what? It has everything to do with what? Frustration about the current moment. Angry about feeling out of control, feeling helpless, feeling like something needs to go my way. I've been trying my best and like some of it is just an accumulation. And you've been just putting it down, ignoring it. The key thing is, anger can be put into what? Physical activity. You see this, Mike Tyson. Nigga was getting bullied. Everybody keeps talking about Mike Tyson's lisp. Cat Williams done said it. What was his name? Chris Rock. Chris Rock done made fun of him. Everybody be like, at one point, somebody was beating him upside the head. Somebody was bullying him about that. And he was like, you know what? And his life led into what? Putting that anger in its proper place. And what is he? A symbol of what? A role model for boxers. A role model for people who want to get their shit together. A role model for somebody who thinks that I can't do this. I can't do this. My anger, I just don't know where to put it. Putting it in its proper place. There's nothing wrong with feeling angry. There's nothing wrong with the situation that you've been through. There's nothing wrong with feeling the way you do. But if you are constantly being told, don't feel like that, Ooh, that's when we get into it. Some people's emotions, some people don't know how to deal with their emotions, not because they don't want to deal with their emotions. It's because they're under the belief that they're not supposed to be feeling that. Like, what I'm feeling right now has to be what? Shut down. It has to be what? It has to be capped. It has to be silenced. It has to be looked at as what? Not valid. There's something happening inside of me and it's invalid. And there's people who've wrapped their whole lives around that belief. To the point to where you, what? Your whole character and personality is what? I don't say nothing to nobody. You cap off your self-expression. Self-expression and expressing your anger is not just fighting or hitting a punching bag. Some of it's physical exercise. Some of it is getting into cleaning. You can put that anger right into creating another business, solving your problems. I'm angry at work. All right, cool, man. I'm just about to make my own business. I'm about to meet somebody else's needs, because obviously me meeting somebody's needs at this job ain't doing a goddamn thing for me. See, this is when you get people who put it in its proper place. But it's easier said than done. But the gist of it is leaving it where it is leaves things up to chance. Because that's where things left unmanaged is where what the Joker was telling about. He was saying, what about it? It only takes one day. It only takes one bad day to what? Be just the spark to all of what you've been feeling inside, and for you to just, that's it. So the key, anger is not, there's nothing wrong with anger. There's nothing wrong with frustration. There's nothing wrong with being unhappy about your situation or unhappy about the current moment. The key thing is, it's just energy, and it's energy surfacing to let you know about a particular situation where it needs to be moved. Excuse me. Like I said, all emotions have an origin story. And dealing with that origin story is how you're able to what? Literally, an emotion can be really looked at as a child. Even if it's not it's your own child, but now you're directing that child in the way it should go. You're directing that child in the way that it should go, to the point to where it's not left unmanaged. It's not left in the other room creating a fucking bomb. It's not about to mess up your house. It's not telling everybody that you're a bad parent, or so and so. Look at your emotions as children. Your emotion is a child. It's only telling you these are my needs. And when you're able to parent yourself and look at your emotions and be like, okay, what is this telling me? This is where parenthood is what? This is why they say prepare for having a child. This is why you should always prepare no matter what. The best preparation is what? Constantly dealing with it. Your whole mentality is dealt with, okay, I'm ready to deal with this. Even if I haven't run into the situation yet, I'm always ready to deal with my emotions. I'm always ready to be like, you know what? To stop in a moment and be like, let's assess. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Let's understand. Let's figure this out. Put your mind at rest. Let's figure it out. Because anger, like what you see, that's boiling water. But when you're able to understand, boiling water can cook noodles. But boiling water can also fuck somebody's skin up. You can boil some water and throw it on somebody. Everything is a weapon or a tool. You're the one. That's what Amy Adams was talking about in the Arrival, when she was talking with the heptapods. Everything in terms of language, everything is a weapon or a tool. Everything that we identify with. A car can get you to point A or point B. Or you can use that same card, go to somebody who talk you the wrong way at work, or some unresolved family trauma, and you can run that shit right through their garage, right in their house. That's same card. All of this built on you getting your driver's license, taking your driver's test. That same card can be your trip to work, and it can also be what? Your trip right to the goddamn pen. Look, that's where you get the importance of, there's nothing wrong with the way you feel, but if you don't deal with it, it's going to come out, and it's going to come out at what? The most inopportune times. The most, where it's inconvenient for, it's convenient for the emotion. Like, I gotta let it out. I gotta let it out. Energy's gotta go somewhere. But because it's your emotions and you didn't get with it, that's where you get kids who speak honestly about what's going on at home. She not feeding me. She not doing what she's supposed to do. I want to go to granny house. when your emotions, like those outbursts, when they just finally come out, and when they do that, that's when your kid is telling on you. And that's when you get in situations, oh, no, quiet. And this is when you get people who what? Try to be like, no, I wasn't, no, I didn't mean, no, I'm sorry, no, that's what you truly meant. But you didn't know where to put it in its proper place. That's why you went off on your coworker. That's why you went off on your sister. That's why you went off on them. It don't got anything to do with that particular situation. That feeling right there, unresolved, is what put you in that proper circumstance. And it was inconvenient for you, but the energy came out at the right particular time, and it told on you. Manage your home, manage your kingdom, manage your body, manage your temple. Because everybody in there, all the emotions that you got in there ain't shit but your fucking kids. Or they're the citizens of your kingdom. This is where you get in movies where there's people who are what? They turn sides in wartime. They turn to be traitors. They become traitors. They go to the other side. Why? Because they were what? 9 times out of 10, their needs were not resolved. Their needs were not met. They tried to voice their opinions. They tried to make their needs something that, can we at least deal with this, please? And the more and more they were ignored, the more and more that anger, or the more and more that energy got amplified. Because whether you're ignoring it or whether you're intentionally facing it, you're still putting energy on it. You think that since you're ignoring your emotions, that is gonna go somewhere. You're making a choice to not do anything with it. That means what? That's sending out a message to your emotions that, oh, no. Either you'll deal with it later, or it's not important. Either way, you're infusing that belief. But when you're willing to face it, it's just me and you, homeboy. It's just me and you. That's when you're putting yourself in a position to where, like, you know what? I can use you. Yeah. This is where we're going. I can use you, buddy. And this is where you get people who can what? Change their life, change their mind, based on what? The usage of their energy within. Until next time.